Spooky spell upon this podcast. You will experience technical difficulty at some point. Definitely a curse, and not because somebody kicked the power bar.
Oh man, it's spooktacular Halloween season movie time.
Ah, yeah.
It is October now. We're in the month of October.
This is exactly when we are. We are not recording this in advance. That would be below us. I mean, who has the rights to play this music any other time but in Halloween?
And
Fair.
it took some time figuring out what that song was and finding it.
Right? You have listen, listeners, you and viewers, you have no idea how hard it is to find Bach, Toccata, and
Fugue.
in D minor.
Well, now you can just Shazam it right now.
Yes, Shazam it.
But don't try not Shazamming it. Try searching it with just the knowledge of what it sounds like.
Yeah, think of that sound and try to like put words to it. I had this problem with Space Hog for the time being.
That just took way longer than should be necessary to find this song.
But this has nothing to do with
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're talking about.
Oh, no, not at all.
We are talking about the Halloween Disney classic, of which they are making.
Two of them.
Yeah, they're making a second one. Yeah.
No, aren't we talking about two movies today?
Well, we're gonna start with Hocus Pocus 2.
I mean Hocus Pocus 1.
I get those, I get those confused because I'm just so excited for Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh.
I've been writing Disney letters every month for the past, say, 20 years to make a Hocus Pocus 2, and I got that notification in my feed, and I almost climaxed right then.
Gross.
It was. I was at
It's
work. I
disgusting.
was talking to a customer.
They got enough emails to where it was like, yeah, we have enough emails to where if we made a new Hocus Pocus and this many people watched the movie, we would totally make our money back.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think that as many times as people rewatch this film over the past 27 years since it was released, that they would kind of wise up and go, maybe we should make a second one. It took them this long.
It took
It's
them
ridiculous.
far too long. Okay, so
Just makes me curious, actually, what's the longest duration between an original film and a sequel?
we looked this up at P5 Academy a while back. Is that something we want to actually look into while we talk about this? Here,
Maybe.
What did we learn from this movie? Well, the overall lesson we learned from this movie is that virgins are the scum of the earth, right?
Yeah.
I've never heard people disparage someone's virginity so many times in the span of 90 minutes for no real apparent reason.
Yeah, they just really didn't like the fact that this kid had never experienced a vagina before.
It's actually a central part of the whole movie.
It is the
True.
linchpin of the
True.
entire plot.
It's ridiculous.
Because this, at the time, 14, 15-year-old had not had sex,
Yeah.
he almost brought doom on the whole planet.
So yeah, I guess it starts out in like the 1600s or whatever, like colonial America.
1693.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Because remember, it was 300 years.
Well, there's some witches, and then they burn them, and then
Oh,
they're
yeah,
dead.
this is a
They
family.
didn't burn them, they hanged them.
They hunged them, but those
Hunged
witches
them.
those witches did not do themselves any favors because they're sitting there like billowing bright, like light emitting pink smoke from their cauldron out into the world. You can see it from miles away.
Yeah.
So you go out into the woods to hide your activity, but then you just put a spotlight on yourselves and say, "Hey, we're doing Satan's work here." Hi. Oh, and just so you know, it looks like the record for time between sequels is Mary Poppins Returns at 54 years.
Wow.
Followed by Blade Runner 2049, 35 years. Star Wars The Force Awakens, 32 years.
Okay, so
I guess
That's-
that doesn't really count this in my estimation because of the Star Wars one, because they were making movies in between those.
it's true.
So I don't count that one. Mad Max Fury Road, almost 30 years, 29. But that's not important. I mean, it is important to me.
I'm trying to decide if the Mary Poppins one, are they going from Julie Andrews to Emily Blunt? Is that supposed to be considered?
Wait, are we talking like the Saving Mr. Banks?
No,
No.
you said Mary Poppins to Mary Poppins Returns.
I think that's
Was that the Emily Blunt one? Because is that a true sequel?
I think it is a true sequel. Listen, this is a screen.
I thought it was just a reboot.
Maybe it was. I don't know. Okay, it's this. The list starts at number 10. Hang on, I gotta scroll down. Boy, listen, let me tell you, we must not have a lot to talk about with Hocus Pocus because we're not talking about literally everything else.
Well, yeah, then they hang the
interesting.
witches, and then we fast forward to.
And this is a family film. Like
1990s.
they try to suck a child.
Yeah.
They a kid gets turned into a cat for all eternity.
Thackeray Binks.
Thackeray Binks, and they hang 3 women. This is a family film.
And then then we meet our what's the main character? Max.
Max.
That's the most 90s name you could come up with for a teenager in the 90s.
It is actually. He has the most 90s hair
Oh,
actually.
and you missed the part where they had Sith lightning in the very beginning. Like
Oh yeah.
she's just sitting there like using lightning to throw them around.
Probably one of the greatest performances by Bette Midler, let's be real.
Let me tell you, she was having a blast.
She absolutely was.
So he's in class, and the teacher is very unprofessional. She's going up to students, as I recall, like she's like, what's she like, touching them or something like?
Oh yeah, she's like having this whole like she's telling the story of the hanging of the witches. So she apparently knew that the chick had force lightning, I guess, and that one of the witches was fat and the other one was kind of a whore. I'm not sure.
Hey, do we want to watch the trailer real quick?
Oh yeah, let's put in the trailer.
Okay, everyone.
Let's see. Let's make sure.
What is this, sisters?
Oh, the bus scene.
Odds bodikins.
Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, Sarah Jessica Parker.
What are those? What's that?
Dream Team.
The hobgoblins. Oh.
Yeah, trailers were different back in the day.
Bless you.
See, this is official trailer. I don't.
When does the music start? I mean, this
I'm
is just
very
like
confused.
I'm actually really disappointed in.
I don't
yeah, it
see
says
children.
official trailer right there. What?
I've lost my power.
It's like a
Enough.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they really.
I mean,
Witches, we are evil. Evil. What would
yeah,
mother
this is
say?
just okay. Wait, I guess
She could
trailers were
see us
just
like
like
this.
movie clips back in the day.
no,
Mother.
we didn't
This is
choose
YouTube.
correctly.
It's still the clip.
It is still the clip. Okay, let's
Anyway,
just.
this is a clip from the film.
From the
Oh
film,
my
we're just gonna
God.
show its entirety. Don't X that out. He has to like sync it up and show like.
Let's go. Let's just
Wait, find a different.
hear it from movie clips.
There we go.
Jeez. Oh, no internet. What the heck
What
is happening here?
Sam, you are effing up. Well, I like because she's telling the story of like the teacher's telling the story of this hanging because what do you do in math class?
Yeah.
You tell a story of how you hung 3 women, and I love it because like the Max sitting there like I think it's a bunch of like mumbo jumbo BS.
It's like opposite of. He's like the
Here we go.
bah humbug of
Yeah,
Halloween.
and you can tell he's from California because he's wearing a tie-dye shirt.
And he has to move to this probably eastern seaboard.
Yeah.
Salem. He moved to Salem.
Massachusetts.
To live this way. Okay, there we go. Walt Disney Pictures.
Jump back.
Available
Twist
on
the
DVD.
bones and
Whoa, I
then
want
the
it on
back.
VHS.
Use it to cover to Malika Mystic.
Back in 1693,
Oh yeah, they do some
the
like
people of Salem,
synchronized stuff in this movie. I forgot
Witches!
about that.
Yes?
thought they got rid of the Sanderson sisters for good.
God, this guy must be loaded just from being up the same place.
She always has that asymmetrical mouth,
300 years
and it
later,
kind of annoys me.
it's
She's
Halloween
like a.
Eve.
No, that
And
always
they're
bugged me
back.
about Rob Lowe. You remember Rob Lowe? He'd talk like out of the side of his mouth a bunch too.
No.
Did he?
Oh yeah, like especially in The West Wing. I don't know if that was a character choice, but yeah, no. This voiceover guy, he must have gotten like millions of dollars to do the same voice in every trailer
When
in
you
the
hear
90s.
that voice, you know it's the 90s.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
We are home.
Are you broads a little old to be trick-or-treating?
We're talking about
We're in
3
Jersey for a
ancient
second
hags
there.
versus the 20th century. How bad can it be?
Now they're digging up old friends
What a stench.
and running amok,
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
looking for the one thing they
Some good
miss most.
slapstick too.
there is.
honestly.
Stay for supper.
Oh, that it got a little weird there too.
There
Yeah.
we are.
Only one boy has the power to stop them.
Prepare to die
That's
again!
Benny Up.
You have no powers here, you fool.
Only
before
one boy has
all
the power to
Salem
stop him,
falls
except he's the
under
one who
their
lives.
spell.
Right.
Hello, you.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole bunch of music. We watched this movie and I'm still surprised.
Walt Disney Pictures presents Bette Midler,
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Sarah Jessica Parker,
Would thou dance with me?
Thirsty with
and Kathy Najimy.
All with.
Hocus Pocus.
Into the night!
Oh yeah.
They love to fly,
They gave her.
and it shows.
Good night. Sleep tight. No screaming.
Oh man. So charming.
I mean, it was a good movie.
It was a fun movie, let me tell you. Like, so, yeah, he automatically finds his love interest. Apparently, on the first day, he's like telling everyone that their local customs are BS.
yeah.
It's like, hey, you're the hottest chick in class, so we should be love interest since we're in a movie.
And she's the one who like believes in the
most.
history the most, and she has to convince him of it. And he's like, "You have to prove it to me."
And this is further proof that dudes will just say or believe in anything in order to get a date. It's like, oh, you're into witches and black magic? Yeah, me too. Why not?
I think the part of it that the three of us laughed at the most was definitely the fact that they just spend the entire time railing on this kid for the fact that he's a virgin and he lit the black flame candle.
Yeah, So she says, hey, come.
So bad.
They decide to like he's obviously not happy about moving to Salem.
From Los Angeles, where there's sunshine and the ocean.
Realistically, though, he got a real big upgrade because you saw his room, right? That thing had 2 levels. It was like a minimum of 300 square feet with another level.
It had a loft.
A freaking loft. I'm guessing the parents are living in the closet.
He had the whole top part of the house.
I have no idea like how he swung that. Like, I don't know. Somebody must have like diddled him as a kid, and he just said, "Listen, I will go to the police if I don't get
Wow.
this big room." And they said, "You know what? Listen, Uncle Lester is giving us we're in the will, so you know what? Go for it."
Lester.
That's bad.
Yes.
So then he gets into some gets into a conflict with
Oh
some
yeah,
of
on
the
the way
new
back
students.
of from school, yeah,
Yeah.
like the most unthreatening bullies in the 90s had to offer.
Yeah.
They hang out in a cemetery, and one of them renames himself Ice. Who gives themselves a fake like name, right? What kind of loser? What
Yeah,
kind of
that's weird.
pathetic waste of a human says?
Yeah, I
I
wonder
think
who.
Spike is your real.
It's
name.
on my birth certificate.
No, it's not.
It totally is.
Bring it
We'll
out.
go.
Let's
Listen,
see it.
I'm not gonna open myself up to identity theft. But yeah, I
Yeah,
love,
then
they
they're
steal-
really
they steal his
non-threatening.
shoes.
They steal his. They're like, "Hey, dude, you got nice shoes," and he's like, "Oh man."
And the next scene is he's riding his bike in his socks, and then apparently his parents are just like, "Oh, where's our kid's shoes?" Like, must be a form of protest.
They just assume that they're.
They don't,
Kid is
they don't say like, "Hey,
protesting.
what happened to those Nike trainers that we bought you that were at least $100?" Protest, okay.
Yeah, so he doesn't. He's not really feeling this town or Halloween. It's a really whimsical town,
Really, it is.
and they're all into Halloween except for him. So like the family gets all ready to go like trick or treating.
well, the parents go to like a party at like the local rec center or something.
Yeah, so he's like stuck, kind of like taking
Babysitter his sister, and she takes him trick or treating.
he doesn't get like 2 steps out the front door and before like the bullies come back and start
it's like
humiliating him
the
in
fir-
front of everyone.
The first, and his sister picks a fight for him. Like she's like they're like trying to hustle her for chocolates.
Oh yeah, well my big brother will beat you up, and then it's like
Boy.
he's got his bullet cap on, and he's like, no,
no.
shit.
He's like, "Oh, your shoes fit fine." It's like, really? It's like that's an odd coincidence that you'd have the same size shoes. Like, we're different sizes, different body types, but I guess we have the same size feet. Okay.
Yeah,
And it's
so-
like this chick is gonna be that chick who's like, "My boyfriend's gonna kick your ass," and it's like, "No, honey, don't. I don't want to." Like, I just got that energy from her from that thing.
So then they go to a house.
The love interest house.
There's a weird before that happens. There's a weird situation where his little sister breaks down and starts crying
Yeah, because he's like
Because
being
he's
a real downer.
because he's like a loser and he gets picked on.
He is a loser. He does get picked on, and he is a downer. He's like the worst trifecta for what you want when you're a kid on Halloween.
So then he like says something to cheer her up, and they look at the house, and then they're like all good again.
I guess, yeah.
and they're
but
like, oh, "Look at this house. Let's go inside of it."
We got to get to the witches, okay?
So they go in. Well, I want to mention when they get inside this trick or treat, their first house that they trick or treat at is like a walk-in.
Yeah.
It's not even like a knock at the door.
just open
You
the
just
door.
walk in, and there's like a like a
It's just
bowl
tons of
candy.
Well,
candy.
that wasn't the first house.
That wasn't the first house,
That
yeah,
wasn't
but
the first house.
It wasn't?
No,
No,
because
they-
he had already gotten humiliated, and then they kept going, and
Yeah.
that's when they walk into
Oh,
the
that was
girl's
his house.
Yeah,
That
that's
was him walking out of his house.
No.
no, yeah, that was them. Just they just kind of cut ahead in time to trick or treat.
Yeah, they cut ahead in time.
Oh.
So but I love this because she's
Well, that's
like
the first house that we see.
the first thing we all thought was, are they having a eyes wide shut party?
Yeah.
When he goes into
Is the love
what
interest
is her
house?
name?
I forget. I don't care.
Oh,
So well, you have a phone. You can look that up.
you have a
so
phone
she's-
too.
Yeah,
She's
I don't
wearing
care.
like a Victorian. Everyone's wearing like Victorian outfits.
Yeah, it's like
costumes.
yeah, and they're all sitting there like, and she's got a little bit of bustier thing going, kind of
Yeah.
a little bit of cleavage showing, and I'm sitting there like, this feels wrong. Like all the parents are like at this like mixer party going on.
So then,
This is a debaucherous town.
so then his little sister is telling this chick that he likes that he likes what are they called? Bobobos or something?
Oh no, yeah.
Little Lolo?
She's like, oh yeah, it outs him like, oh my brother loves your yabos, your bobos. Like, why are you? First of all, stop talking like that. Like, if your sister, you have the biggest room in the house. Everyone's gonna come in there. Don't talk about boobs out loud.
So then she decides, you know what? Let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's go to this. What they were trying to go to some like house.
The
or
witch
something.
house. The witch's house. Yeah.
The Sanderson
And
sisters'
she,
house.
she decides she's gonna wear just normal clothes.
Yeah.
Cut
she-
to next scene.
Well, yeah. She has to go upstairs, get out of that dress that probably took a long time to put on, get into some jeans because she's not gonna do the whole movie in like a long dress. Let's be fair.
Yeah. So they get in there, walk around. It's dark, and I think
He just
you,
steals a Zippo.
Yeah, you brought up that he's good with a lighter.
He's just suddenly like he whips it open, like lights it on his pants. He's like flicking it around and stuff. And, like, I'm like, you're 15. How do you have this weird skill?
He's from L.A.
He's from L.A. So he.
So
just-
yeah. This is where he unwittingly brings the witches back.
Yeah, they're all looking around at the thing. Oh, and they have the I call it the knockoff Renomicon because it's got an eye and it's kind of Necronomicon-ish, but it's what Disney could get away with, and like he lights the black flame candle, and that's the weird thing is like if a virgin back when they were hung, the book just fell open in front of them. It's like I read this prophecy of a virgin lights a candle
on All
on
Hallows'
All
Eve.
Hallows Eve, and also he moved from California and has an annoying sister and a love interest, and he just got his shoes stolen. Then we shall be resurrected.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah. So yeah, he lights the candle,
virgins were
and this
more.
this-
Virgins are more.
Pure.
We're more rare back then. Now, like now in the '90s, like any old teenage kid's a virgin.
yeah, anyone who hasn't had sex with their shop class teacher, it doesn't count really. I guess I don't know.
So then,
So this scum of the earth, waste of a human being, virgin, lights the candle.
witches come out. They're being really creepy. Do you remember any?
Yeah.
like, of the
Oh, I
stuff that
remember
they
because they're smelling. I smell an 8-year-old girl. I'm like, oh, and we because listen, this was in the '90s, so they didn't have like the high profile Epstein's and stuff like that. So
Oh, they were there.
they were there, but
They just didn't talk about
they
it.
didn't talk about him. It's like this wasn't like in everyone's like headspace at the time. So you could have just some chicks walking around like, I smell an 8-year-old girl. Let's track her down.
So I think this is where like a big fight kind of breaks out, right?
Yeah, they kinda
She's
get into some
using the
slapstick.
force lightning.
Yeah,
and this is where we meet the cat, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
just
when
lands on his
Thackeray Binks shows up.
lands on his chest. Like, good going, you dumb virgin.
And I think I thought it was funny how they accept that it's a cat very quickly.
Real quick.
I'm pretty sure that if like these 3 witches seemingly resurrected shoot you with force lightning, you might just accept a talking cat.
Your headspace might have just like you're already there. Like this is like when we're like it's like us now. Like when new tragedy strikes in the year 2020, we're just like, okay, why not?
What's next?
Whatever. Like, oh, aliens and our state's on fire, and I don't know, there's a plague. Okay, what's next? Yeah, what's next?
I wonder if I want to.
It's like, oh, ogres are real and they're coming to take us. Oh, fine, why not? So yeah, let's see.
Oh, I think. Oh, you're reading. It's protected by magic.
Oh, yeah, that's not. What I wanted to bring up is so they hang out with the cat a little bit,
They do.
The bus driver.
Yeah.
Oh, that
I wanna
bus
bring up the
driver
bus
is
driver.
great.
That's
Well, yeah, 'cause
that's what
they-
I want, because that's one of those lines where it's like, clearly this movie was like, it was made for children, but they certainly wrote it with the adults watching it with their kids in
Right.
mind, because I think you're going to talk about, the Sanderson sisters get on the bus, and Winifred says, we want children, and the bus driver's like, it might take me a couple tries, but I think we could make it happen.
Listen, this guy.
Like, smooth.
Oh yeah. This. Oh yeah. This is like this is more proof that like guys, like any guy, will be like whatever he needs to say to get in them pants or that bustier, like in this case.
Yeah, and it's funny how the bus driver. So this is a regular bus driver. It could have been
On a holiday, on a federal holiday.
I know.
It's not a federal holiday.
Isn't Halloween a federal holiday?
No.
Okay. Well,
And
just
he's being
wish.
he's being like a jerk, but like the witches don't notice it. They just think
Right.
he's like a cool guy.
because he's driving him around. He's willing
Like
to.
any other woman would have just been like, "Shut
yeah,
the fuck
whatever.
up,
Get out of here.
Yeah, but like they're like, really like getting on with this bus driver to the
Oh, yeah,
point where Sarah Jessica Parker's witch
On his
character is
lap.
sitting on his lap as he's
Right?
he doesn't know they're witches or that they're out of place,
He's
out of time.
He just thinks that they're dressed up as the Sanderson
Yeah,
sisters.
it's Halloween night, so obviously he's going to be like, listen, the hottest one of the bunch is sitting on my lap. I don't care. He's going to abandon his route and just say, where do you want to go? This is now a taxi cab because I have an erection. I don't know what the deal is. Oh, yeah, we skipped over. There was a cat monologue, which was kind of weird.
Oh, yeah.
The witch gets a lot of bites out of that spider.
Oh, I was going to bring that up, yeah.
Yeah, that she's like sitting there like, oh, a spider, because I'm creepy, right? Halloween. And she's like, no. It's like a Twinkie, like the amount of bites, I'd say.
She must have found like some giant ass tarantula.
A giant bird-eating spider.
Yeah, I like that part where she stuffs it in her mouth and like there's you can see the legs
Legs,
moving.
yeah.
I wonder how they did that, if it was like animatronic or if it was an actual spider that Sarah Jessica
It was
Parker put.
not an actual spider. I do not believe that Sarah Jessica Parker would ever have done that.
Eating a
I
spider.
don't know. I think she was at
That
that
was
phase in
and
her
that was
career where
pre
she
Sex
would
in the City.
have
True.
done that.
Oh man, I wonder if they ever brought that up on Sex and the
No.
City. And they also brought up the they resurrected the hot witch's ex-lover who cheated on her.
Billy Butcherson.
Billy
So
Butcher.
it was Bette Midler's, Winifred's
Okay.
fiance or boyfriend that Sarah Sanderson stole from her. So Winnie had his lips sewn shut and buried
Yep.
him in the ground.
Ooh, super
or
creepy.
Something like that.
I love I think that very bus actually flattened the cat. Again, a family film.
Yeah, it flattens the cat, and the little girl Danny is like crying and losing her mind.
Just reinflates.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, it was like watching Deadpool or or anything with a Wolverine.
Imagine seeing that as like an 8-year-old.
I was like, oh,
You're like-
they come back, right?
It's like, yeah, all cats come.
Yeah.
Kinda-
First time seeing death and then coming back to life.
Kind of wish that had happened the other day.
Oh.
Did you take note of the scene where they run into the cop?
Yeah, oh yeah, I did. That's written there. It's like this, the fake cop. It turns out it's a guy in a costume because of Halloween, obviously. It's like, we need help. There's witches coming after us. My brother, who is a virgin,
Lit the black flame candle.
a disgusting. Oh, just a waste of a. Did I mention he is just the worst human being
And
because
then-
he has not experienced vagina? Lit the candle.
The cop, he
lean-
pauses and he leans up to him. He's like, "Are you actually a virgin?"
I'll work on it or something. It's like, I'll get it tattooed on my
Not
forehead.
by choice.
Yep, he is technically an incel. Let's be fair. Oh man.
He said that, yeah. So yeah, technically he's an incel. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And they just run off because he's a fake cop, and there's got to be a law against like getting a really, really authentic police officer.
He didn't even look that authentic. Like, you step away and you look at his
get
badges on his shoulders, and you're like, oh yeah,
that
that's
looks a
totally
little-
fake.
Oh, and then they so the kids go to like that Halloween party where I'm convinced that's like a key swapping party.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably
yeah.
is. They're all swingers.
Like
Every single adult in the town, for some reason, is at this one party.
yeah, there's like no one's walking their kid. Just let
Nope.
all the 12-year-olds and 8-year-olds just having fun out there in the dark.
It was 1993. No one had a care in the world.
It was a simpler time.
The bigger one watches the smaller one.
Yeah,
They
that's how
go
that
out there.
goes. Hey, aren't there those like those bullies that like to steal people's clothing? Yeah, they'll work it out. It's fine. And so there's this really like compliant lighting guy when he's like, "We have the witches are back." He's like going like full nutso.
Yeah.
He's like, the witches are here. I lit the black flame candle, and I'm a virgin, and and there they are over there. And the lighting guy just like pans right to him.
I know. Max is in there causing a ruckus. You'd think that like everyone would ignore him. You know, everyone's trying to like ignore him, and the band's all pissed off.
Yep.
But like the lighting guy's like, no, let's see what this kid
Yeah,
has to say.
I'm interested in how this plays out. I want to see how this plays out. Here we go.
Points the light at the kid, and then he points the light at the witches. Them over there.
It's like, wow, this guy is like on point. This guy is awesome.
And then the witches, oh, thank you for the introduction, Max. And then they sing probably one of the most fantastic renditions of I Put a Spell on You, which is, I think, originally by CCR. And it was, yeah. And it was just, I mean, you really get to hear Bette Midler's chops. Not as much as I would have liked. I would have loved to hear more of Bette Midler. They just,
Yeah, they got to move on.
But
Are we also the scene? Did you take note of the scene where they're at that devil guy's party?
Oh, yeah, I love that scene.
the scene that we accidentally watched when we first
Right.
tried to watch the trailer.
It's like, Master. And it takes them a long time to figure out that this dude in like the underwear they had probably back in that time frame was not actually Satan.
No.
Like, that's not Satan. Look, Satan doesn't have a downtrodden wife, obviously. Come on.
Well,
Yeah,
they
so,
don't realize it literally until the dude's wife comes down and she's like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you dancing with this chick?
Yeah, why are you dancing with Bette Midler?
Yeah, there's like 3 women that her husband is dancing with.
Yeah,
she just comes downstairs and it's like a Halloween party.
And I was just thinking, like, oh, yeah, that open relationship thing we had back when we were in our 20s, that's still a thing, right? Like, no, it is not.
Didn't she say something like this again or something like that? Or
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
year?
like, this guy,
Yeah.
this guy is either really into Halloween or is really into banging whatever chick comes to his stoop on Halloween. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like the type. He probably like during the rest of the year he wears like a smoking jacket on his off time.
Yeah. And then he was the devil for Halloween.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, they're calling me master though.
It's like, yeah, listen. Someone chick shows up at our door and starts calling me master. You know, she's gonna get a free drink. I'm gonna
At
cook her
least.
dinner. Oh yeah. Listen, I'm gonna see where that takes us.
And if your girlfriend shows up, just say, hey, you know,
Listen,
this is Halloween.
this
This
is
is one time a year where
it's like
this happens.
you said I get a hall pass, and also I'm gonna need you to be present during. Look, I don't ask for anything. What did I ask for Christmas? Like I asked for socks because I knew this would come.
Two of the witches don't seem like they're really into it, but one of them is
of 'em does.
totally down.
Totally, yes.
One
she
of them.
is like capital D, capital T, capital F.
Oh man, that was that scene.
She is like stupid horny, like literally like mentally deficient horny.
So then, they hatch a plan to kill the witches.
Yes.
These
how-
children
how
and
do
these
you-
teenagers decide.
They figure out like, listen, historically, how do you kill a witch? Immolation. Obviously, you have to set 3 human beings on fire. A family
They're
film.
not human beings.
They're not human beings. We have to burn 3 people alive. A family film.
So they go to the ceramics department,
The-
which
the-
has the
In
The
the high school.
best ceramic department in the continental
really
United States.
good sculptures
Some
coming out
some
of that
good, some really good.
ceramic
Oh yeah,
departments.
like stuff like the Thinking Man, like
Yeah.
eat your heart out.
Yeah, exactly. So they were able to get them into the oven.
Yeah, they
and
use like a boom box. Like, okay, where is the library? Que esto la biblioteca? And then they're like, oh, what's going on?
It was French,
Oh, sorry,
though.
French.
that was French bibliothèque. Yeah, and then they were able to burn them.
Croissant. Yeah, so
It
that was
didn't
cr-
work.
di-
And they
di-
didn't stick around to see like, oh, that's their ashes. They
you
like,
know,
all right,
don't
well,
confirm your kill.
they left.
I mean, these things are just super powerful beings that have been dogging you the whole night.
So I guess they turned into green smoke and just hovered until the fire was gone, and then when the fire went out,
They just recombobulated.
Reconstituted themselves.
So I guess you can't burn them. That doesn't work.
No.
This is like Chucky, yeah.
Right, and those bullies again. They were contemplating, like, as the night wore down, they like went to them. They were contemplating like peeping on people now. So they've gone from bullies to thieves to extorting children to sexual deviancy.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny. They're like, well, let's go check out girls undressing. It's like, it's 3. They're already all undressed.
They're already undressed, undercover. They're undressed, redressed, undercovers, and sleeping.
I don't know if I get the timeline, though, on that, because
It was somewhere after that. It was around the time they burned the witches.
was it 3? Oh, because it wasn't till 12. It was sunrise was the next
Yeah,
day.
sunrise was that. Okay. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. Let's see. Nothing weird so
So
far.
they get kidnapped, though. They do get kidnapped.
They get like captured and taken and put into those hanging cages. Meanwhile, like they're all back at this kid's insane room. And they're like sitting there like, hey, let's see if we can use the book for good or whatever. It's like the One Ring, I guess, now. And they're sitting there like, they read it and it's like, nothing weird's going on. And literally light is shooting from the book.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't bother to like say, okay, during this part, light's going to be shooting from the book. They just decided to add that later in post.
So there's a weird scene after that where the witches are their like hideout. And they're all crying because they think they're going to die.
Right.
And then the bully kids are crying because they're like captured. So like everybody's crying.
It's like so sad. Like what?
So the bully kids are like, get us out of here. And like they actually put like tears on their faces, like water droplets on the bullies' faces.
Yeah, they just like got like a dropper thing. Yeah.
It doesn't look like real tears. It just looks like they splashed them with water.
I think they can only suck the soul out of a female child.
Great.
It seems like because like those two are morons, but they seem like they right. You could there's two of them. They're not 18 years old. They haven't hit adulthood.
Right.
Why not just take their youth?
I guess, but then
it seems like it had to be a young female child.
But when they did the Pied Piper spell, like all the kids were showing up, like male.
Right.
I guess it's all just so the movie can happen realistically.
Yeah.
And I like that they open the book and they use it and then they spot it, like the witches spot it, like there it is, and they ride the brooms and one.
My curse takes effect. Obviously dark magic and not the errant footwork of a certain podcaster.
So they did the sprinkler thing.
Yeah, which it worked in the very beginning with the sprinklers, where he puts the lighter up to the sprinkler and he's like, the water of destruction,
right.
and the witches hide. But then they tried it at the very end with the daylight savings time thing, and that just I don't know.
And they drive off with their sister. He gets his sister back. And I like this. If they had like an army of children walking towards their house, and they said, "No, I want that 8-year-old girl," which is real. It feels real Epstein-y, honestly.
Well, she kind of like spoiled their fun from the beginning, so it's kind of vengeance a little bit.
I guess so.
Vengeful witches.
And the zombie they raised that has been dogging them for a while suddenly gains agency.
Yeah, Billy Butcherson.
Yeah, Billy Butcher. And he cuts open his mouth, the stitches, and it's like, go to hell, you dumb scum-sucking whatever. This is a real Disney-friendly insult.
Scum-sucking, what?
Scallywag.
Scallywag. You scallywag. I guess he was
I
a
hope
sailor.
he didn't say scum in this is a Disney movie.
So you don't say scum in Disney
No.
movies? Oh, really? I didn't know that.
No.
All right.
Well,
so there's a big climactic battle, right?
Well, before that, I want to say, like, suddenly he shows up with the other, like, this, like, Max is separate from the people when the zombie gets his soul back, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then he shows up with the zombie, and it's like, oh, yeah, he's with us now. And they're like, okay. Like, with the corpse is no longer, I have follow-up questions. How'd this happen? I guess, okay, no, they just go with it. Fine.
He got tired of being Winifred's little bitch.
I guess so. He just does a 180 on the zombie. Let's see. So Max drinks this potion that they were brewing to do the youth sucking. It's like, now you got to take me. And she does it, like, actually. So it does work with older kids, I guess. And so she's, like, sitting there holding him up, like, sucking the youth out of him. And then the sun comes up, and she gets, like, stoned.
Right.
Literally.
She turns into stone.
So I'm wondering, like, while that's happening, he's losing decades of his life, right?
I know, huh? I don't know if it works that way where, like, every second that she's sucking.
Does she lose a second, or how does that work? Was it like eating a cheeseburger? You get more than, like, however long it took you to eat the cheeseburger of, like, energy out of that.
Yeah, is it taking the youth out of him?
Well, when we saw at the very beginning when they were sucking the youth out of Emily Binks, she just turned into, like, a slumped over, gray-haired old person immediately, pretty much.
So this follows like the aliens from the Alien franchise, where the alien bursts whenever the plot needs.
Yeah.
And so his youth is sucked. He lost like a week off the end.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that. I like that.
Maybe years.
Maybe years. I'm gonna say, like, for plot convenience,
a week. Yeah.
He listen, like, the week he would have spent crapping into a diaper at the end of his life, that's what he lost. And so the cat dies for real this time. How did that die?
Because the curse breaks, right?
Yeah, the curse breaks, and then his soul goes to his soul goes back to heaven, and they take one last dig at his virginity.
Yeah, well, no, before that, no,
Oh.
that's a good point. But the cat, so the little girl is sad that the cat died, and then like the ghost of the kid comes back.
Like, what
and
took you so long?
And he's like, "Hey, I'm actually happy." And she's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm actually wanted to be out of that cat." Basically, he says,
You didn't want to be a cat for all eternity? Go figure.
He's like, "Yeah, now I can just like be a human
I
in
can
the
go to
afterlife."
I can go to heaven.
And I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny that this whole time the cat didn't want to be a cat.
Well, yeah, because
She made friends with this like little cute animal. It's like, yeah, this is a prison.
Yeah, this is hell.
I'm waiting to get out of this.
Literally.
I want to die. You have no idea how many cars I've thrown myself in front of.
But I keep coming back to life.
Okay, so
Yeah, but then what you were gonna say about the last?
yeah,
dig.
they said they're like, what took you so long? It's like I had to wait like several
300 years.
for a dumb, stupid, immoral, like just small penised virgin. Virgin.
And then I almost feel like the girl was like giggled. She's like, "Haha, virgin."
Stupid virgin. We're from the 1800s. I'm already married when I was a girl. Oh God. So yeah,
And that's literally how the movie ended.
the movie ends. One last dig. Hey kids, if you're 15 and a virgin, check yourself.
And
Well-
then the end.
But the very end, they show the parents coming out of
They,
the,
yeah.
the dance
Boy,
party.
This party. Oh yeah, because they
All sweaty.
Yeah, it's like they
Gross.
They either danced or banged their way through the night.
Probably both.
Yeah, let's be honest. They probably it's like, what's this grinding thing I've heard about? Let's try that.
It was like the biggest orgy in Salem or something like that.
Right? Like, listen, all the kids, they have their eyes wide shut party at my place. They're good.
It's like, wait, what? That's not good.
What? You said let them have a party and have fun, and I thought that's what you meant. Like, listen, if we get to bang, obviously all of our underage kids should get to bang. You know our view on virgins in this county.
I mean, isn't
It keeps
Salem
the witches
like,
away, actually.
It does.
like one of the most? What were the Pilgrims' religion?
They were Puritans. They were like super.
Salem would be like the most puritanical
It would have.
town.
Well,
I would imagine.
That's why they burned witches.
in like still to this day, I would imagine is still probably the most.
Well,
at
and
its
you know those
core.
places. They also they have
puritanical.
the most porn and stuff. So there's an underbelly.
The only reason they let the California kid in is because they didn't think he was a virgin. They're like, "There's no way that
There's
California
no way, yeah,
kid is a
there's-
virgin.
well,
He's not going to wake up any
He's,
witches."
he's off the list of danger, obviously.
I was like,
All
"Wait, the California kid woke up the witches?"
He's a virgin? What, you're shitting me.
The last one they would expect.
All right, so
So that's our
take.
on Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for 2. Ooh, spooky. Vic, fade us out when you're editing this. Spooky. Ooh.
Don't be a virgin.
We don't condone that, especially if you're underage. At the Transmit Podcast.